When you first observed the red SUV, first of all, strike that. Was there a group immediately after the Blazers team in the parade?
Overruled. You may answer, sir.
Are you talking behind us or in front of us?
Behind. Was there someone directly behind you, or was there a gap between you and whoever was behind you? If you recall, when you look back, was there a float right behind you?
I don't remember seeing a float right behind us.
Okay. And people were running. Could you tell where they were running?
From what I remember, running towards me and to the sides of the street.
And when you first saw this, you said a red vehicle?
Yes.
Did you have a more, was it a car, a SUV, a pickup truck?
I remember it being larger than a car. How I described it to other people as an SUV.
And how was it coming at you? Was it on the, it sounds like you were behind the truck. You said Caden was to your left, which would be, and I'm horrible at directions, but that would be the south side of the street. Was it coming on the south side of the street, the middle of the street, or the north side of the street, which would have been to your right?
Overruled. You may answer.
From what I remember, it was middle, and then it moved to the left to go around our truck.
Okay. As it was coming towards you, what did you do?
My first reaction was to grab Maya, and she slipped through my hands the first time, and then luckily I grabbed her the second time and pulled her to the side. Immediately was trying to put her in the back of our vehicle because I didn't know if more cars were coming.
When you say the back of your vehicle, the Blazers vehicle, or did you have a personal vehicle also in the parade?
The Blazers pickup truck.
And then what happened?
Sure. So after I got her up in the truck, I was frantically looking for my kids. I watched the SUV continue driving down the parade route, swerved back to the right after it passed our truck. I was screaming, "Where's Riley?" Caden found me, and I tried to get him in the back of the truck as well. From there, I was yelling at him, asking where Riley, well, screaming, "Where's Riley?" He didn't know. So I ran around the truck a couple times, and that's when I saw Jackson on the ground and stopped by him to check on him.
So where was Jackson in relationship? I'm assuming that once the red SUV came through, did the parade stop?
Yes.
Where was Jackson in relationship to the Blazers pickup truck?
From what I remember, he was in the front of the truck to the left.
Was there anyone else around him at that time?
His dad, Aaron.
Did you talk to Aaron?
I did.
And what observations did you make of Jackson?
Jackson was motionless on the ground, eyes open, didn't appear to be aware.
Did he appear to be alive?
Was unsure.
Did you find out that he died as a result of being struck?
I did.
Overruled.
Hearsay.
So when the car came through, the red SUV, it went to which side of the truck?
The left side.
Okay. And that's where you said Caden was. Did Caden get struck?
Caden told me he did.
What injuries did he have?
Objection, hearsay. Oh, it's not for sure.
Overruled. This witness may answer based on personal knowledge.
So Caden said he saw the...
Hold on. That would be hearsay. So I'll sustain the objection if you would rephrase the question.
What injuries did Caden have?
He had bruising on his right elbow.
And do you know if Caden got struck by the red SUV?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
Yes, he did.
Did you see Jackson or Tucker Sparks get struck by the SUV?
Sitting here today, I do not remember that.
Okay. Did you give a statement at some point? I think it was part of a parade survey, if you recall that.
Yes.
That was, I think, created by the Victim Witness Program, sent out by the Victim Witness Program, and then you would have sent it back. Do you recall that?
Yes, I do.
And was that something that you created?
Yes, those are my words.
Okay. And is it correct that that form says, after that I saw the car drive past us on the left, striking two of our players, Tucker and Jackson Sparks?
Yes.
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
See that? That's hearsay.
Overruled. His answer may stand.
Thank you. I'm assuming that the event was fresher in your mind when you gave that statement versus a year later?
Yes, I believe everything in that statement is accurate.
Okay, thank you. And do you know if Jackson Sparks was injured? I'm sorry, Tucker Sparks.
Yes, he was.
Okay. Do you know what injuries he had?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
I remember the most significant was brain bleed or a head injury.
And did you eventually find your daughter Riley?
I did.
Where was she?
She was across the street. So I had taken my and Caden into the antique shop on the south side of the road. She was across the street in the Civic Theater.
Was she injured as a result of a car striking her?
She was.
And what car struck her?
The red SUV.
Okay. What injuries did she receive?
She had multiple cuts, bruises, scraping on both of her legs. Her knee was pretty badly bruised.
Now, after the car went to the left side of the Blazer's truck, striking the kids, did you see the path that it took?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
Yes, I remember it going back to the right side of the road after that.
So after it passed the truck,
Yes.
did it strike the Blazer's truck at all?
I don't remember.
So it went to the far right side of the road?
Yes.
And then did you see it from there?
That's the last memory I have of it.
So do you know approximately how far Jackson was in front of the Blazer's truck when you went and you talked to his father, Aaron, who was with Jackson?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
I don't remember.
Okay. Did the vehicle stop?
No, it didn't.
Did you see it stop at any time while you had view of it?
No.
Can you estimate approximately how fast it was going before when you first took notice of the red SUV when you looked back?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
I remember thinking, this is a parade. It's 25-mile-an-hour speed limit here. If I were in my neighborhood and a car was going that fast, I would be yelling at it. So faster than the speed limit.
And I'm assuming when you're in a parade, you're not going, although the speed limit on that road might be 25 miles per hour, you're not going 25 miles per hour. Would that be a correct statement?
Absolutely.
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled. His answer may stand.
Now, before you went into the antique store, was there anyone yelling anything about shots being fired?
Yeah, I don't remember who yelled it, but I heard shots were fired and to get inside the nearest building.
And did you go in right away, or were you still looking around the car for Riley?
Right. I didn't have Riley at the time, so I had to make a decision that I had 2 out of my 3 kids and took them into the antique store after that.
Prior to going into the antique store, did you see Jackson again?
I don't remember if it was before or when I came out of the antique store.
Okay. So, did you see Jackson a second time on Main Street?
Yeah.
Hearsay.
Overruled.
Where was that, or where was he?
Yeah, so after I put Caden and Maya in the antique store, I asked the couple there to watch them because I was going to go find my other daughter. Ran back outside on a main street, and that's when I saw Jackson again. And at that point, I believe a woman was trying to perform CPR on him.
Did you ever see Josh Crater while you were outside?
I remember.
After the vehicle had gone through. I apologize.
No, that's fine. After running back outside, I remember seeing someone near our truck that had a jacket, a brownish jacket on, and at the time, I believed it was Josh. I didn't know him well at the time.
And where was he?
He was on the left side of the vehicle, our vehicle.
On the ground, did you say?
Yes, he was laying on the ground.
Okay. And at some point, how did you find Riley?
I received a phone call when I was in the antique store. It was a phone call or a text message from my friend, Ben.
And what did he have Riley?
Yeah, he said he was with her across the street and that her legs were injured, but she was okay.
And that's what I was just going to say. As a result, you had indicated that Caden did receive an injury from being struck by the car.
Yes.
Did Riley receive an injury?
Yes.
What were her injuries?
She had scrapes, bruises, abrasions up and down her legs.
And that was from the vehicle?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's been previously marked and admitted into evidence as Exhibit 15. And I would ask that be published to the jury right away.
Go ahead.
And let me know, sir, when that's up on the screen in front of you.
I see it.
Okay. There's a section. Actually, it's in the middle of the page, probably more in the upper part. It has names: Josh Craner, Riley Rogers, Caden Rogers, Jackson Sparks, and Tucker Sparks. Do you see that?
I do.
And then there's a line on the left side of that diagram that goes down to the map where it leads to a yellow star. Do you see that?
Yes.
Would that be the area in which each of those people were struck by the red SUV?
Objection, hearsay.
Yes, it appears accurate.
Thank you. I'm now going to show you what's been marked as Exhibit 148. I'm going to have it just shown in front of you first. And I'll have it play for a couple seconds. It's starting at 0. Sir, do you recognize the frame that it stopped at, which is at 5 seconds?
Yes,
Have you seen this video before?
I have.
And does it accurately depict what occurred on November 21st of last year, shortly before, during, and after the red SUV struck the Blazers?
Yes.
Permission to publish and admit Exhibit 148 into evidence.
Objection is noted. Exhibit 148 is received. Permission to publish is granted.
What grounds?
Sir, it's approximately 3 minutes and 22
What
seconds.
grounds?
I'm going to play that entire video initially, and then we'll talk about it.
I'm sorry, do we have the total of it?
3 minutes and 22 seconds.
Thank you.
The entire video.
Your objection is noted. It's overruled.
What grounds?
Noted, but shut the hell up.
Relevance.
What grounds?
That is the grounds. Relevance. Go ahead.
Look at all the debris in the road. I wonder if Darrell is enjoying seeing all this. He created all this. Oh my goodness. And what a cool parade it looks like it was. I grew up in a small town, and it makes me think of my town, and we had parades and little, events there, and it was just, always like a fun, seemingly safe place to be, but not anymore, really, is it? can imagine.
That is the entire 3 minutes and 22 seconds. Sir, you just gave a testimony with regard to your actions. Did you see yourself in that video doing a lot of the things that you just testified to?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I'm going to play it one more time, and I'm going to pause it at certain points if you can just identify where you are and what you're doing, okay? So let's play it from the very beginning at 00. I'm going to pause it right here. Now, it looks like there's quite a few people in there walking behind Waukesha Blazers truck. Are all those people part of the Waukesha Blazers program?
It appears so, yes.
Okay. So either parents, players, or support?
Yes.
And do you see yourself?
I do.
And can you circle where you are? And your daughter?
Maya is right here.
And do you see Caden?
No, I don't.
And do you see Josh Craner in this frame?
No, I don't.
Okay, let's
Hold
clear
on,
the
could you just make a record of where you paused?
Yes, I'm sorry. At 13 seconds, if we can clear the screen and continue on. Pause. Do you know what you were looking back at? It seemed like, as I started saying before, a lot of people were looking behind you. Is that when you heard, you said something about a wheel tipping?
Yeah, I remember the first time I turned back, seeing something tip, whether it was a stroller, a wheelchair, a bike, some sort of...
Okay. You might hear a little bit of noise from my one video. You could hear my cat in the background. Now it is my dog, my little 15-year-old Chihuahua Dachshund mix, and his stomach clock is going off, and I don't even think it's time for him to eat yet, but he's definitely trying to let me know. So if you hear something that sounds different in the background, that is who it is. It is not time to eat yet. Maybe he's trying to object.
Tires in my mind, and hearing screams at that time, thinking that somebody got hurt.
And you said you turned back, face forward, and then something else drew your attention back?
Correct.
And what was that?
The screaming.
Now, do you see Josh Craner in this frame?
I do.
Okay, and can you circle him where he's at?
He was running right there.
And that's at 16 seconds?
Yes, and I was just reminded of that. Thank you. And you saw the video straight through before, correct?
Correct.
And Josh Craner was about to get struck by the car, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so let's play that through. Stop the video. When you saw Josh laying on the ground, Josh Craner, do you know approximately where, I'm sorry, it stopped at 19 seconds. I'm very bad at this. Do you know where Josh Craner was laying approximately?
To the left side of our vehicle. That's about all I remember.
Okay, so he's not shown, did you see two bodies fly forward from the truck?
In the video or
In
when I
this
was
video
there?
right now.
I would have to see it again.
Okay, if we can go back to
Oh boy.
probably 14 seconds.
Bodies flying from the truck. Horrible thing to witness.
And play it again. From 13 seconds. Stop it. Did you see two bodies flying forward?
Yes.
Do you recall, as you look at this picture, where Jackson was of the two bodies that flew forward?
I believe he was on the left side of the truck as well.
And can you circle him by where he's laying on the ground?
Can you play one more time, please?
Yes, and that was, I stopped it at 21 seconds. I'm now going back again to 14 seconds and playing it again starting at 14 seconds. paused, or it was paused at 18 seconds. Did that assist you?
Yeah, looks like he's laying right up here.
And do you know who the body is that's to the right of Jackson?
I don't, looking at it from here.
And do you know, as Jackson and Tucker were marching to the left of the truck, as you testified to, were they close together in distance?
Yes, they were close.
If you can keep playing. I'm sorry, and it's dark.
I picked up Maya, and I'm running to check on Jackson.
No objection, Papa.
Over the top of him right now.
I was just going to say, if you can narrate, and that you said that at approximately 31 seconds, you were over the top of Jackson.
Yes.
I need to relive that.
I just grabbed Ella, another one of our members.
You can pause the video. Okay. And what are you doing? And
I'm
it's paused at 35 seconds. 55 seconds.
Putting Maya in the back of the truck to keep her safe.
And how about Ella?
Ella, I was bringing her with me too, so I knew where she was.
Okay. At this point, had you seen Caden?
No.
Okay. Continue.
That I'm talking
Pause.
to Caden now.
So at 1 minute and 3 seconds, you're lifting someone up into the pickup truck?
Yes, that's Caden.
Okay. Continue.
And I'm yelling at him, asking where Riley is. And he's telling me he doesn't know. I told him to stay there, and I was going to go run and try to find her.
What's he doing?
Because I went to the left of the truck.
Yes, you can hear my dog like whimpering in the background. I promise, no abuse. He just wants his own way.
I saw somebody down in the road, praying it wasn't her. It was not.
And then pause it right now. When you said you saw someone else in the road, did it appear that that person was injured?
Yeah, they were down on the ground with people around them.
You can continue on.
Telling the kids that it'll be okay, and they're safe now with the truck.
Okay, that was paused at 1 minute and 47 seconds. Continue on.
A bark is going to come out in a minute. Sorry, guys. Shh. Hush, puppy.
At 2 minutes in, had you found Riley yet?
No.
Is he looking at his paperback Bible?
And there I'm pointing out that
Pause.
we need medical attention.
And that was at 2 minutes and 31 seconds. You're pointing out that who needs medical attention?
Jackson.
You can continue on.
At that point, I was just talking to Caden again, asking him if he remembered where Riley was.
That's 2 minutes and 38 seconds.
And I told him to come and help me find her. At this point, people are rushing in the stores as we heard shots were fired.
That was at 3 minutes.
So I grabbed Maya and Caden and ran into the nearest open door that I could find.
Pause. And that was at about 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Is that, yes? Did that happen about 3 minutes and 10 seconds into the video?
Yes.
I'm sorry. And that's all I need for the video.
Wow.
And finally, I'm going to show you Exhibit 31. And let me just see if that's been admitted, yes. It has not. So I'm going to have it displayed in front of you. I'm not going to have it published until I show you a couple seconds of this to see if you can indicate that this is a true representation of what happened on December 21st.
I see it, and it is.
Okay. Permission to publish it and admit Exhibit 31 into evidence. 27 seconds.
Exhibit 31 is received. Permission to publish is granted.
And if we can play it. Until the end of 27 seconds. Does that accurately depict the path of the vehicle as it was striking the Blazers members?
Yes.
Nothing further, thank you.
All right, I'm going to take a mid-morning break at this point, about 15 to 20 minutes. All rise for the jury, please.
Do you think that he's acting like he's upset, or is he truly upset and remorseful?
All right, thank you, everyone. We are in recess. Sir, you may step down as well. I'll be back in 20 minutes.
So here's the thing. This is just me, but I feel like Darrell thinks that he has to, excuse me, I will get to you in just a minute, sir, my dog I'm talking to. I feel like Darrell thinks he has to cross-examine every witness on there, but he doesn't have to. My question is, what can he possibly ask these victims? Does he not have a shred of compassion to just not do it? I don't think so, because I think he cross-examines every single person.
Oh, okay.
Now that I know where to get it, I can get it, save it to a PDF, and immediately upload it. Okay. So then they can show it from there.
Oh, he's wiping his eye with his tissue. You're going to need to pull yourself together if you're going to cross-examine this father. Because he's the one that suffered loss, not you. You coward. Oh, yeah. I'm not feeling it. Are y'all feeling the sympathy for him? I'm not. Oh, man, look at that. He's got to know the cameras are there. You'll pull out that tissue. And yet, he's still probably going to cross-examine that father. I know he is. Of course he is. All you had to do was put on your brakes. Not even go down that route. Yeah, flip through those papers. Make sure you get everything right. Get your ducks in a row.
I think we're about 10:09. All right, it's 20 minutes. All right, we will go back on the record appearances are as they were before. I will have the jury brought out, and we'll continue with the questioning of this witness.
Please don't say anything. Shut up.
Judicial determination you made about the jurisdiction.
I thought I was very clear, sir.
I can't believe it. You're not that sad.
Proof be validated.
Put the
Your
tissue
request
down.
is denied.
Put your friggin' tissue down.
On what legal basis, Your Honor?
The record stands, sir.
Yep.
Is that a judicial determination?
My ruling was put on the record earlier, sir.
So that is a judicial determination.
Just stop. Oh my gosh, guys, I can't.
All rise.
Yeah, if you have something to ask those stupid questions, you're doing fine. No sympathy from this person.
All right.
I'm dreading this. I'm sure I've seen it, but it's been a long time, so I dread it.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. Mr. Brooks, you may start your questioning of this witness then.
Just a second, Mama.
Please. I'm sure that witness is gone. You know what? I can't, guys.
I'm sorry about that. I just needed a second.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, wipe your eye again. That's right. Get the boogies out. Oh, let's get that Bible. Oh, that's sweet. Sweet.
I apologize to the witnesses. A little emotional right now for me, so I apologize to the court as well for the delay.
I should apologize for running over everybody. That's too late.
Can you recall what time you arrived at the parade that evening?
I don't remember exactly.
Do you recall how long you intended to stay?
Through the parade till it was done.
You testified earlier to seeing some of the video footage that was played. Would that be fair to say?
Yes, that's fair to say.
Do you recall how many times before today you saw the video footage?
I believe I saw one of the videos once.
And you don't recall seeing any of the other videos?
Maybe clips we were bouncing around.
Do you recall by whom you were shown the videos?
The folks at the prosecution table.
They're referring to the three prosecutors sitting there right now?
Yes.
All three?
Yes.
You stated in testimony earlier that you did not see the vehicle strike the children that were in front of you. Would that be fair to say?
I said sitting here today, I don't remember that.
You said something to that effect. Would that be fair to say?
You'd have to be more clear.
You said something to that effect of what you just said.
To what effect?
That you, sitting here today, that you do not recall seeing anyone struck ahead of you.
That's correct.
also stated that you did see who was struck ahead of you.
Is that a question?
Yeah.
Would that be fair to say?
In relation to what?
Yeah, get specific.
Someone being struck in front of you
When I was there or the video? What are you talking about?
at any time when you was there.
When I wrote my statement, I wrote what I remembered at that time.
So would it be fair to say that as you sit here today that anything about your statement may have changed?
Nothing has changed.
So your testimony here today would be accurate to what you reported?
Everything I said has been accurate.
Tell him.
Do you recall saying in your interview with the DIC that your 11-year-old son and 9-year-old daughter suffered minor injuries in the event?
I remember saying they were injured.
Do you recall saying that the injuries were minor?
No.
Ass.
Not direct witness to the statement?
Who cares?
Do you have a copy of that?
Yes, right here.
Is it his statement or a summary?
It's not his statement. It is a statement from DCI, an agent from DCI, in which DCI agent spoke with Mr. Rogers and wrote down what he believed was said to him. It was not signed by Mr. Rogers. It was not reviewed by Mr. Rogers. Therefore, I would object to this being characterized as this witness's statement.
Grounds.
If he would like to call the DCI agent, then he may do so.
Grounds.
All right, I'm going to sustain the objection as to the form of the question. Rephrase, if you're able or desire.
Do you recall stating to whomever interviewed you from the DCI that the injuries were minor?
No.
Any reason why they would report that you said that?
Oh, for gosh.
I don't know. You'd have to ask them.
Yeah. Amazing that he has he's such a coward.
Any reason why they would believe that that's what you said?
Cares?
Reported. Grounds.
Relevance?
Grounds.
Calls for speculation on the part of the witness. Sustained.
Oh my gosh.
Do you remember giving a prepared statement at 10:45 a.m. on 11/22 of 2021?
I do.
Do you recall the gist of what you prepared?
Can you be more specific?
Specifically, that you heard commotion, turned around to see a stroller or something fall over about a block and a half behind us.
Yes,
You recall making that statement?
I do.
About how many people would you estimate was at the parade that day?
I would guess the thousands.
And you were able to see something fall over from a block and a half away amidst thousands of people.
Yes.
And can I just ask, what the hell does that have to do with anything? I mean, what does that have to do with anything? It's just like, he's just making stuff up as he goes along.
And you don't recall what that was that you saw?
No.
reason as to why you would name what you saw fall if you don't recall it?
Oh, for God's sake.
I described it.
So you did see something fall.
Oh, my God.
Asked and answered, sustained.
Yeah, thank you. And it's just stupid.
Do you recall what the item was?
Objection.
Grounds.
Asked and answered.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Come on, what else you got?
Do you recall about what time you heard that shots were fired?
After watching the video, it's about 3 minutes, 2-3 minutes after the red SUV drove by us.
Do you recall the day of the incident? Not the video.
I remember it was after the vehicle drove by us.
Did you hear the shots?
No,
Do you remember who that was reported by?
I don't.
What did you do after you heard that shots were fired?
I looked for all of my children again and made the decision to take 2 of them into the antique store.
And he already said that on the stand, if I recall correctly.
About how long did it take you to look for everybody before you went into the antique store?
Before or after the shots fired comment?
After the shots fired,
I think I did another lap around the car and then around our Blazer's truck and then grabbed my kids and left.
were you able to retrieve everyone at that time?
No.
You recall who was missing?
Riley was missing.
Did you leave the antique shop anytime after you had gathered your loved ones into the antique shop?
Yes.
About how long before you left the antique shop?
I don't remember.
Do you remember what you did when you left the antique shop?
I remember at some point seeing Jackson again on the ground.
The child you ran over.
Did you continue looking for the loved one that you missed before you gathered the other ones into the antique shop?
To the best of my recollection.
You don't recall for sure?
It was pretty chaotic. I was looking constantly for my missing daughter.
Did you end up finding her?
I did not find her, no.
And who was Ben White?
He was another coach with the Blazers and a friend.
Was he with you in the antique shop?
No.
So at some point you got separated. Would that be fair to say?
Separated from who?
Separated from Ben.
We were all separated as soon as the car drove by.
Any idea where he may have gone at that time?
No.
You remember talking to him after you had gathered everybody in the antique shop?
I remember at some point he reached out. I don't remember if it was text or phone call. Yes.
Did he say if he was injured in any way?
I don't remember.
Were you injured in any way?
No physical injuries.
Was it pretty windy that day, from your recollection?
From what I remember, there was a pretty good breeze, yes.
Pretty cold?
It was cool.
pretty loud?
Normal parade sounds.
Would that be characterized as loud?
I guess it depends who's. It would be subjective to the person there.
Would you say it was loud?
Not overly loud.
So you yourself were able to hear pretty good over a parade with thousands of people?
I would say so, yes.
What's your point?
You had one of your daughters, Maya, with you that day. Would that be fair to say?
That's fair to say.
Was she injured in the event?
I threw her to the ground to get her out of the way, so she had some scrapes.
And would that result from you throwing her to the ground?
I don't know.
Did she say that she had been injured in any way?
No.
Do you recall if anyone else besides your children who were injured?
I remember lots of people who were injured.
Do you recall?
I just answered that.
Yes, he did. Jeez, man.
Who, besides your children?
You want me to list all of the names that were injured?
Just rough estimate.
Yeah, come on.
That you recall.
That I recall, 10 to 15 people that I saw.
That you actually observed.
Yes.
Yes, Darrell.
Did you render any assistance to any of those people?
No.
Any reason why not?
My daughter was missing.
So it'd be fair to say at that moment your concern was your daughter that you didn't retrieve to go into the antique shop.
My concern was for everyone that was just struck by the vehicle.
Indeed. Don't put words in his mouth, Darrell.
Including your daughter that was missing, right?
I was concerned about her missing, yes.
Oh my God, so stupid.
Did you file any reports other than just the interview?
What do you mean by
Like an
reports?
injury report or of any kind?
Just what you had in front of you that you were reading from. That was my statement.
It's reading.
No. Did you file any
Oh, jeez.
injury reports or
Judge, that's a big question.
grounds?
Sustain us to the form of the question, sir. Please rephrase.
What I'm asking is, usually if there's an injury, you will file a complaint. To the best of your recollection, did you file any complaint from the incident?
I wouldn't consider it a complaint. I filed some paperwork saying that my children were injured, yes.
Do you recall if that was a complaint?
I don't know.
Was it a claim in any sort of way?
Yes.
Do you recall what the claim was?
It was with the Victim Assistance Program.
And what does that consist of? What are the resources in pursuant to the complaint that you filed? Or claim that you filed, right?
Can you rephrase?
Yeah, really.
What would be their assistance and to help you with your claim that you were filing?
It was to help with any medical bills that arose out of this situation.
So it would be fair to say that you had a financial interest in this incident.
Objection. This
Grounds.
characterizes the testimony.
Grounds. I believe it's relevant to the fact that bills were needed to be paid. It's relevant.
Overruled. He may answer.
Relevant to
I was
what?
looking to get the medical bills covered, yes.
So would that be fair to say that you had a financial interest?
I would say sitting here today, I didn't care if it got approved or not. I was trying to get assistance for the medical bills.
So if it had gotten approved, would you have been able to do it yourself, or would you have seek to do it yourself?
Judge's relevance.
Grounds.
Sustained, the question is vague.
Heartless
Would you have
and stupid.
seeking? Would you have paid the medical bills yourself,
God.
Yes.
regardless to price?
I generally pay my bills.
And specifically that matter, not the rest of your bills.
Darrell.
Specifically that matter.
Objection's relevance.
Grounds.
Sustained.
That's
Move on, Mr.
ridiculous.
Brooks.
You don't pay any damn bills, Darrell.
Would you consider yourself an injured party in this case?
No.
Were you aware that you might be called to testify in this case?
Eventually, yes.
Did you seek to testify in this case?
No.
May I ask why you agreed to testify if you didn't seek to?
Relevance.
Grounds.
Sustained.
So stupid.
Do you recall who informed you via subpoena to testify?
I received a subpoena from the DA's office, yes.
You did?
Yes.
Ooh, he's getting all excited.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
No problem.
Are you aware of the plaintiff in this case?
Oh, for
Objection.
God's sake. Are you serious?
Sustained.
Have you read a complaint pursuant to this case at any time?
Not that I remember, no.
Do you understand that
Oh, here we go.
for charges to be issued that it has to be a claim, therefore it has to be a plaintiff?
Objection.
Grounds.
That man doesn't give a shit.
Okay, so first of all, the
Grounds.
grounds are relevancy. It's not relevant. That would be the
You
grounds.
also have to state the grounds.
Hold on. Let her get her position
God.
out, Mr. Brooks.
And it mischaracterizes the former testimony.
It does
Sustained
not.
as to both grounds. Under 90611, move on, please.
Don't even. Don't even.
So you're not sure if there is a plaintiff?
Objection.
Grounds.
Relevance.
Sustained.
Have you ever had any interaction with the plaintiff?
Objection.
Grounds.
Sustained.
What else could you possibly ask?
Are you aware who brought charges in this matter? Grounds.
Sustained.
Grounds for anybody who says anything, hardly.
If you're not sure of a complaint, how can you be sure of the charges in this case?
Objection.
Grounds.
Sustained. Mr. Brooks, under 90611, please move on to a new topic, or your cross-examination will be shortened. Cut off.
Your Honor, with all due respect, every
Please.
question that I'm asking is relevant. It pertains to the plaintiff in this matter that
It's
seems
nothing.
to be nowhere
You're
found.
making a legal argument. We'll take that up outside the presence of the jury. Move on.
I believe the jury deserves to know that
Don't
who
do
the
this with that
plaintiff
poor
is in this
man
matter. That's
sitting
very
there.
relevant to the case. How can they rule on something when they don't
Mr.
even know
Brooks?
who the plaintiff is?
Please, move on. Next question, or I will turn it back over to the state for
Don't
redirect.
do it in front of this victim. Don't waste his time. God, he's infuriating.
Can you recall if you saw the driver of the vehicle?
I don't remember seeing the driver.
Were you able to catch a glimpse of the license plates?
No.
Do you recall if the vehicle had any tinted windows?
Oh, God. I
don't
knew
remember.
tinted freaking windows.
About how far from the vehicle were you when it passed you?
From the red SUV?
About how far from the vehicle were you when it
He's
passed
asking
Can
you,
you
specify.
Tell me which vehicle you're talking about?
you? How far from the vehicle
He's not answering. Don't answer the
were you
question.
when it passed you? The vehicle that went around your Blazers vehicle.
The
I
red.
guess I would ask the defendant to be more clear as to
That's right.
what vehicle and when it went around. Like at the beginning of the parade, before it struck his kids.
I was just clear. I said the vehicle that
No,
went
you were
around
not
the
clear
city.
at all.
As to the form of the question, please rephrase.
You were not
Vehicle
clear.
that you observed, or rather, I'll say the vehicle that you observed approaching. About how far from it were you when it passed you?
Say the color.
Josh, just to clarify, is he saying the red SUV that this witness has described as that red SUV was
That's
approaching
right.
him?
Say it.
Or some other vehicle?
Sustained as to the form of the question.
That's right.
Well, I thought he was clear when he
No,
said
no, no.
that there
You
was
have to
only
be clear
one
with your
vehicle.
question, Mr. Brooks.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
You have to be clear with your question.
You have to
vague.
say it.
He
As
said
to
it
the
was
word
only one.
vehicle, you need to be
You
clear.
say it.
Which vehicle you're questioning the witness
The
about.
vehicle that was
Say it.
approaching. that
Which
he said
one?
At
was
what
approaching.
point in time, what color is the vehicle,
Yes.
something
Say
like
the
that,
color.
sir.
He's not going to say the
Vehicle
color.
that you observed strike anyone. How close were you to that vehicle when it
Say the
passed?
color.
The red SUV was about 10 feet probably from me.
Thank you. He said
You
it.
didn't see the driver, correct?
Correct.
Did you see anyone else in the vehicle?
I did not look in the vehicle.
Would that be a no?
That's a no.
Thank you.
Infuriating.
Would it be fair to say that 10 feet from a vehicle is pretty close?
Subjective.
What would you say? Would you say that's pretty close?
It depends what you're talking about.
Would you say that 10 feet is pretty close to a
Don't use that
vehicle?
tone with him.
Depends. If they're driving, yes.
Man.
Would it be fair to say that that's close enough to be able to see who is driving?
Oh my gosh. You're gonna
Depends
have
on many other factors.
leave this man alone.
What would those factors be?
Oh my God.
Eyesight, windows up, down. If they're looking at the vehicle.
I'm assuming it would be fair to say that you were definitely looking at the vehicle, correct? Would that be fair to say?
When?
Yeah, exactly.
When it
When?
was approaching and when it passed?
Yes.
Any reason why you would not try to identify the driver?
It's clear, I think, dude.
Because my children were about to be struck.
Stupid
Any
questions.
reason why you would not try to see if you can catch a license plate number?
You and your license, please. Shove it up your butt.
Because people had just been hit.
So it would be fair to say because of what you was observing, that would be the reason why you didn't try to get a description of the driver or the
Oh,
license plate.
God.
My priority at the time was not identifying the driver.
further questions.
Thank God.
Can you redirect?
Just briefly, Your Honor. Sir, you had indicated that you submitted a claim to the victim witness program for medical bills. Is that correct?
Correct.
Were those the medical bills for Caden and Riley that were incurred as a result of the red SUV hitting both of those children?
Yes.
Overruled. His answer may stand.
And it was yes?
Yes. Sure.
Thank you. No further questions. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. You may step down.
Proud of you.
All right. You may call your next witness.
Today we call Josh Crater.
Good morning, sir. If you would please make your way to the witness stand. My right. When you get there, please remain standing. Raise your right hand. My clerk, Teresa, who's on my left, will swear you in.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you, sir. Please be seated. The first thing I will ask you to do is to state your first and last names for the record and spell each, please.
Joshua Craner, Joshua, Craner, Kraner.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry guys, just quick. I think I remember the attorney asking the previous witness, kept asking about, did he see this, the name of this fellow here? I think he was with the same group that little Jackson and that fellow's kids were in. I think he was with them as well. So I think he was also struck by the SUV. You know, I mean, a little off topic, but he's got some pretty good size arms. I think he could take Darrell on with one hand behind his back. Tied behind his back. Let's see if...
Sir, I'm going to direct your attention to November 21st of last year, 2021. Were you at the City of Waukesha Christmas Parade?
Yes, I was.
And were you a participant or a spectator?
Participant.
And what group were you with?
The Waukesha Blazers.
And what was your affiliation with the Waukesha Blazers?
I'm a head coach of the Slammers, which was at the time a 9U baseball team.
How long had you been involved with the Blazers?
Just a couple months.
Did you have any children that were part of the Blazers program?
Yes, my son.
And how many kids?
Just one.
Okay. So on that date, were you there with your son or daughter?
My son and my wife.
Okay. And you were marching with the Blazers?
Yes.
Do you recall what you were doing? Were you handing out candy, handing out flyers?
We were handing out flyers.
To support the Blazers program?
Yeah, to recruit people for the rookie program.
What did the Blazers have afloat in the parade?
We had a truck.
Okay. And was it marked with the Blazers logo on it?
Yes.
Do you recall what color it was?
No.
Okay. And where were you in relationship to the truck? Was the truck in front of the people with the Blazers, or was the truck behind the people?
We had players on both sides of the vehicle. I was walking majority in the back of behind the truck during the parade.
Okay. Did there come a time when you heard a commotion behind the truck?
Yes.
Can you describe for the jury what exactly you heard?
I heard screaming.
Now, you were at a parade, so I'm assuming as part of a parade there's normally screaming. Was it something different?
Yes.
Can you describe it?
Horrific.
I'm sorry?
Horrific.
Okay. What did you do?
I turned around to look at what was going on.
Horrific.
What did you see?
I can only
I
imagine.
saw a red Ford Escape up on the curb. I saw people throwing themselves out of the way.
Now, when you say you saw the vehicle up on the curb, can you describe that for the jury, what you mean by that?
It wasn't in the roadway.
So I'm assuming the parade is taking place on Main Street in the city of Waukesha?
Yes.
And the cars and the parade participants would be within the areas between the two curbs?
Yes.
And this car was up on a curb?
What I remember, yes.
Okay. Did you see that car strike any people?
No.
Okay. You saw people running from the area that the car was coming from?
Yes.
What did you do?
I instantly tried to find my son.
How old is your son?
He's 10 now.
9 at the time of the parade?
Yes.
Where was he when you last saw him before looking to your back when you heard the commotion?
He was on the left side of the truck.
Okay. And did you see him when you looked back?
No.
Then what happened?
I was struck by the vehicle.
Gosh.
Where did the vehicle strike you?
I don't remember.
Okay. Did you receive injuries as a result of the vehicle striking you?
Yes.
And what were those injuries?
I couldn't walk. I was in the hospital. I had muscle contusions. I had bone bruises.
Did the vehicle, when it struck you, or after it struck you, did the vehicle continue on with its path of travel down the parade route?
Yes.
Overruled.
Hearsay.
And did you see the path it took after striking you?
Yes.
Where did it go?
Forward.
Could you tell if it went straight ahead, swerved one way or the other way?
No.
Overruled. He may answer.
No.
When you were struck, do you recall if you were to the left of the Blazers truck or if you were still in the middle of the Blazers truck?
I was on the left.
Were you knocked to the ground?
Yes.
What do you recall after the truck went past as you're laying on the ground?
I just remember tires going by.
Going over you or just by you?
When I first recall it, it seemed like it was going over me. But I can't. To be honest with you, I don't know.
Then what did you next recall?
People coming over to me.
Okay. Did you see your son?
No.
Did you eventually meet up with your son while you were still on Main Street?
Yes.
Okay. And was he injured?
No.
Thank goodness.
I'm going to show you what's been previously received as State's Exhibit 11, and I'm going to ask that be published to the jury, or for the jury.
Go ahead. This be part of it, all of it, something else?
It would be probably the first 20 or so seconds. The video is 2 minutes and 29 seconds. And I'm going to start it at 0.
Go ahead.
And so I'm just going to have it play, and then I'm going to ask you some questions.
Just to be clear for the record, the first 20 seconds, right?
I'm going to stop it when it hits the relevant time frame that this witness can testify to.
Go ahead.
Do you see yourself, it's been paused at 18 seconds, do you see yourself in this still shot?
Yes.
Can you circle where you are? Oh, I'm sorry, it's the touch screen. I guess I need to add that part.
That is the pointer. He's not the
Okay.
first person to grab that, so we'll
Okay.
have Pete take it and we'll bring it back to you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, usually they don't like me to have the pointer. I tend to hit people with it. So that's probably why they best left it up there. And that's you marching the parade, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And do you know, was the truck playing any music as the parade was? Did you guys have any sound coming from your area?
I do not remember.
Okay. Do you recall if you heard a horn honking after seeing the red SUV?
No.
You did not hear any horn honking?
No.
Okay. Next, I'm going to show you Exhibit 148, which has been previously admitted into evidence. I'd ask that it be published to the jury. And I would be playing the first 27 seconds of that video.
Go ahead.
And I'm just going to play it through the first time. We can stop it here at 23 seconds. What did you see in that video, sir?
Being struck.
Okay. And that accurately depicts what you can recall of being struck?
Yes.
Okay. So going to the beginning of that exhibit, 148 again, and playing it, it looks like you're running towards something. And let me play it and then pause it when I see that beginning. Pause. Do you recall what you were running towards?
My son?
And that would have been where he was at that time of the parade?
Yes, on the left side.
Do you recall where Jackson and Tucker Sparks were at that time?
No.
Okay. Have nothing further? No, thank you.
And just for the record, you may have said this, but the last pause was at 16 seconds in.
Correct, sorry.
All right, you may take the video down, please. All right, go ahead.
That's not video.
All right, well, let me know when you need it. Go ahead, you may start your cross.
Gosh, Lord help us.
Can you pull that exhibit up again, 148? Sure.
You want it to the witness or published?
Publish.
All right. How much of it do you want played before you ask a question?
The first, what was it, 22, 23 seconds?
All right. 23 is my notes indicate. It's when the state first stopped it. All right, go ahead.
You pause it right there. Can you identify for the jury where you are in this video if you see yourself?
The record is paused at 15 seconds.
And for the record, I believe is this the video with the sound? No, this one does not have sound. Okay, just want to make sure I had that accurate. All right, go ahead, Mr. Brooks.
You can unpause it.
Clear the...
All right.
And it's paused at 21.
Yes, that would be correct. 21 seconds. Do you recall from just looking at the video, have you seen this video before today?
Just still shots of it, the video itself.
So it'd be fair to say that this is only your second time seeing this video.
Yes.
Do you, you can take the video down, I'm sorry. Do you recall giving a statement to Officer Copel?
I don't remember the name of the officer.
Do you recall giving a statement to an officer?
An FBI agent? Yes.
Do you recall if you gave them a summary of what you remember, if you actually wrote the statement yourself?
I don't think I wrote it.
Do you recall saying that you needed a walker to assist you in moving?
Yes.
Would it be fair to say that you're moving pretty good these days?
Okay. What? So he's cross-examining a man that he ran over and saying, is it fair to say that you're moving pretty good these days? Maybe he's moving okay, but he knows what kind of pain he's suffering. Oh my God. Oh. Such an insensitive shit.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Thank you.
Would it be fair to say that you're walking pretty good as of now?
Objection.
Grounds. Just walk the
Sustained.
bench.
Not relevant.
Did you also remember stating that you don't remember much from the event?
I do not remember saying that.
And I guess it would be the summary of the report of the statement that you gave to the officer, which I have right here. It says that you stated that you don't remember much from the event, but made it clear that your primary concern was needing to know where your children were after being struck. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
Yes. And sensible. Okay, Einstein, what do you have for this witness you ran over?
Do you recall what you did after being struck?
I could not move. I was on the ground.
Genius.
Do you recall how long before you were moved from your position?
A couple minutes.
Were you helped by someone, or?
Yes, 2 people.
And where did they take you?
Into the joke shop.
And from there, did you receive any medical attention?
Yes.
Do you recall where that was?
Memorial Hospital.
You recall who took you to Memorial Hospital?
A squad car.
You remember the officer's name?
No.
Do you recall what date you made the report to the officer? Or the date that you were interviewed, rather?
Which time?
So there was more than one time?
Yes.
Do you recall making or giving an interview, rather, on the 24th of November of 2021?
Yes.
Do you recall what date the other report was taken?
The night of.
Do you remember by whom that night?
An FBI agent.
After being struck, you testified that you saw the vehicle kind of go up on the curb. Would that be fair to say?
Can you ask that again?
What did you see the vehicle do after it struck you?
After it struck me, I continued.
What did you see it do?
Drove off.
Did you see it strike anyone at that point?
No.
Or were you able to get a look at the driver in any way?
No.
A license plate number in any way?
No.
You testified for the jury earlier that you heard screams from behind you before you were struck. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
Did you see the vehicle approaching at that point? Did you turn to see if anything was approaching at that point, rather?
Yes.
About how far was the vehicle away from you at that time that you observed it?
20 yards.
You were able to make that assumption how?
I'm a coach, and we go off yards a lot.
Bada boom. Einstein. What you gonna say now?
That makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Make it crush you like a
Would it
bug.
be fair to say that that's relatively close?
Yes.
Close enough for you to see into the vehicle?
Not when he's looking at tires.
I did not see into the vehicle.
So it would be fair to say that at no time during the incident you saw the driver?
No, I did not.
Just so I'm correct for the record, you said that you said that your children were not injured in the incident. Would that be fair to say?
Not physically.
Grounds?
The witness answered it. His answer may stand, so the objection is overruled.
And when you were treated at Memorial Hospital, did you receive any pain medications, Tylenol, ibuprofen, anything like that?
Yes.
Do you recall how long you had to be treated before you were discharged?
1 day.
In the days after the event, did you file any claim whatsoever?
Can you be more descriptive?
Did you file a claim as an injured party?
Yes.
Do you remember who that was with?
No.
So would you consider yourself to be an injured party in this matter?
Absolutely.
Please, Darrell.
So you would consider yourself to be a plaintiff?
Objection.
Grounds?
Oh, God.
Sustained on relevance grounds.
So freaking annoying.
And under 90611 as well.
Do you recall who called you to testify in this matter?
The DA?
Can you point out for the jury which DA?
No.
Do you see him in court?
No.
Do you recall the name of the DA that
God.
you were referring to?
I got
Objection to relevance for this
Grounds?
hearing.
Sustained. He's already indicated that the district attorney's office issued the subpoena.
Well, actually, he said the DA, so that was pretty vague.
Oh,
So
stop
did you
it.
mean the district attorney's office?
Yes.
Next question, please.
Were you subpoenaed?
Yes.
Do you recall the name on the subpoena?
Objection.
Grounds?
Sustained.
Stop.
So to the best of your knowledge, you're not aware of any plaintiff in this matter.
Objection, relevance.
Oh my God.
Sustained.
To the best of your knowledge, you have never seen the plaintiff in this matter.
Objection,
Grounds.
relevance.
Sustained.
I think we're all aware that even with his injury, he could beat you to a pulp. How about that? That would be fair to say. He could put you in his pocket.
Have you ever seen or read a complaint in this matter of any kind?
Yes.
Would you state what that was for the record and for the jury?
I just saw the stuff in the news.
And seeing stuff on the news would amount to a complaint?
Sorry, I misheard your question. Can you ask it again?
Have you read or seen a complaint in this matter?
No.
But it would be fair to say, just based on your testimony, that you saw reporting on the incident in the news. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
Do you recall what you saw in the news?
Just information about the trial.
Did you see anything before the reported trial?
No.
Would it be fair to say that this matter has been going on for quite some time, that there were a lot of reports in the news? Would that be fair to say?
Objection, relevance.
Grounds.
Ms. Brooks, unless you can tie it into relevance with this witness, I'm inclined to sustain that objection.
I'm going somewhere with it.
Well, I'm sure you are.
Then just ask the question, sir.
Yeah, please.
Have you yourself seen anything in the news before the scheduled trial in regards to this matter?
Yes.
Can you state for the record and for the jury what that was?
Just information about the trial itself.
Did you at any time see any reports about the alleged defendant at any time?
He almost said suspect.
Mr. Brooks, under 906.11,
You're,
this is not a witness who identified the driver, so I'm not sure where the relevance is
Yes.
of this. We'll take it up outside the presence of the jury.
let it go.
Once you're concluded with your questions, and I'll determine if there needs to be more questioning of this witness. Next topic, please.
You testified a few minutes earlier that you really don't remember much after being struck. Do you recall where you were after being struck?
I was on the ground.
And about which area? Was it by the Blazers truck, relatively close to the curb, or about what position?
Near the truck.
Near the Blazers truck.
Yes.
And your mama's tire.
Did you see the vehicle strike anyone before it struck you?
No.
No further questions.
Thank God.
No, thanks.
Thank you, sir. You may step down. Before he's excused, I'm just going to excuse the jury momentarily. We'll let you know when you can be brought back in. All rise for the jury, please. right, thank you. Be seated. Mr. Brooks, I cut you off when you were asking questions about what this witness had seen on the news. I'll give you an opportunity to give me an offer of proof as to why you believe that's relevant, and specifically as to this witness.
Well, it's relevant because of how close he testified to being away from the vehicle. He testified to being 20 yards away from the vehicle, which is not super close, but it's not far enough that you wouldn't be able to see a driver or see into the car.
So that's an argument, sir. So what questions would you have that you didn't already ask, and how does the news reports relate to that?
Maybe he may have seen the alleged defendant on the news, and maybe that may jog his memory back to if he seen the driver.
Why would
he testified he didn't.
Wait a minute. Am I stupid, really? He's saying to jog his memory to if he saw the driver? Is that what he's wanting this witness victim to do? Am I crazy and stupid, or is he crazy and stupid? If he says he doesn't remember the driver or seeing the driver, wouldn't Darrell want to let it be? And that doesn't make. But then look at who we're looking at. Look at this fool.
See the driver. So
he also testified to never making the comment that he didn't remember the event, but it's clearly in his summary and in his report that he said that. So it's conflicting. His report is conflicting with what he's testifying. So I was trying to get at the credibility of it. That was my whole aim.
What does the news reports have to do with that, sir?
The news reports are relevant just by the sheer amount of reporting that they've been reporting. This has been going on for a year.
That assumes facts, not an evidence, sir. So this witness did not identify you during this trial. This witness testified as to his observations regarding the date in question, his injuries, and other things surrounding what he saw and heard and what he didn't see and hear. So the news reports don't have any bearing on his credibility. The points that you bring up are arguments that you may make if you choose during your closing arguments. But the questions you are asking don't further that theory. So that's why I cut you off, because there was not anything that you were connecting by way of relevance.
With all due respect, Your Honor, a lot of the questions I ask are objected to. It seems like I can't even get to the questions that need to be answered.
Oh, maybe you should have kept your attorneys, loser. Oh, and they pay more attention to the prosecution. Wonder why. Perhaps all the years of law school and their experience. You are a joke.
Sir, many of your questions go to these sovereign ideas that are frivolous arguments about the plaintiff and all of that. We give you a little bit of leeway. I give you a little bit of leeway on it. But to ask about a claim, because frankly it's a vague question, and many of these victims may in fact have made a claim with crime victim compensation. And so I think that's potentially relevant. But you may be asking it for a different purpose. I'm allowing it probably for a different purpose than you're anticipating. But the questions about the state and the plaintiff, other than when you talk about and you ask questions about who subpoenaed them, have they reviewed anything in preparation for their testimony, those are all fair game. But other questions are not, and that's why there's an objection, and that's why I rule the way that I do. So ask relevant questions, they'll be answered. So I don't see any need for this witness to be brought back in. I don't believe that witness was on Mr. Brooks's list, so that witness is excused. Who's the next witness?
With all respect.
Oh, Lord.
I've asked a question of the state. Let them answer.
Yeah, please.
Mr. Brooks, let them answer. Hold on.
So the next witness that we had intended on calling is Detective Mike Carpenter with the Waukesha Police Department, who would provide testimony about his conducting the speed analysis of the vehicle. I don't expect that we'd be able to get through direct. Well, we might be able to get through direct.
I'd like to at least have him start. I want to go closer to the lunch hour today.
So the other issue is that we thought we were going to be breaking for lunch, so he's not in the building right now. We have another witness who is ready, who we could call out of order, but that would be moving into a new topic, a new group along the parade route. So we're fine with whatever the court wants to do.
I'd like to keep going, so I'll defer to you on which witness to call.
Let's call him.
And Your Honor, I would just note, I don't believe I asked for it. Maybe I did. Jeff Rogers, I know he has remained in the courtroom. He is a victim. Is he excused from his subpoena? He was not an individual who is who we were provided a subpoena for by Mr. Brooks.
He's excused.
Thank you.
All right, we'll bring the jury back out, and you may call. Quickly, Mr. Brooks.
Oh, God. Please.
You made reference to questions I asked and being.
Please let it go.
You said something to the effect of sovereign things. I don't understand what you mean by that. I have no anticipation on your rulings. I'm not trying to sit here and I got enough work to do on the fly. I'm definitely not trying to sit here and try to anticipate what will be objected to, what will be ruled on in any way. I'm merely just. It was understood that this would be a whole new thing for me to do. I apologize if I'm not as polished as I should be.
You should
working on 3 days' time before a trial.
Aww.
We see all the work that I have that I haven't even gone through.
We don't really give a
Mr.
shit.
Brooks, the jury's coming back in.
Yeah, just be quiet.
For the record, I don't consent to that name, and I don't consent to the arguments that the prosecution made. There are relevant questions, as the jury deserves
Mr. Brooks,
to know.
please.
The jury deserves to know who the plaintiff is in
Jury
this matter. I think it's
doesn't want to
fair
hear
to
any more
them
from
if
your
they're
mouth.
to make an informed and intelligent decision. They should know who the plaintiff is.
Oh my God. The jury doesn't give a shit.
So your objections noted for the record.
Will legal finding of fact on that ruling, Your Honor?
She's been over him for a long time.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated.
It's time for him to go to the next room. I'm sick of looking at him.
All right, the state may call its next witness, please.
Calls Alyssa Gajewski.
All right. Good morning. If you would please make your way to the witness stand, which is on my right. It is up a riser. When you get there, please remain standing. Raise your right hand, and my clerk, Teresa, will swear you in.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. Thank you, ma'am. Please have a seat. First thing I will ask you to do is to state your first and last names for the record and then spell each.
Alyssa Gajewski, ALYSSAGAJEWSKI.
Thank you. Go ahead, your witness.
Thank you. Ms. Gajewski, how old are you?
23.
Do you have any familiarity with a group called the Extreme Dance Group?
Yes.
How do you know that group?
I used to coach there.
How long were you a coach for the Extreme Dance Group?
About 4 years.
Can you tell us the time frame where that took place?
Yeah, so probably around 2018 to early 2022.
Where's that dance group headquartered? Where do you hold your practices?
It was at It's 404 Travis Lane. I don't know Waukesha, so I don't know what road it's off of.
Okay, but it's in Waukesha?
Yes.
All right. And in general, what cities or municipalities did the dancers come from?
Waukesha.
What were the approximate age ranges of the girls that you instructed at Extreme?
Just myself.
The girls who were dancers, how old were they?
So we started at Itty Bitty, which was about 2-ish, and then my team was the oldest, so we went up to 8th grade.
What do you call your team?
So my team was called the Elite Team.
And what's the approximate age range of those girls?
6 to 8, 8th grade.
And you mentioned Itty Bitty was about 2, right?
About 2 to 3.
Are there any groups between those?
Yeah, so it's Itty Bitty, and then the tiny group, and then the mini group, and then the juniors, and then the elite.
And it's a continuum of age from Itty Bitty all the way up to the elite?
Yes.
Okay. I want to direct your attention to Sunday afternoon, November 21st of 2021. Was your group, the Extreme Dance Group, marching in the Waukesha Christmas Parade that day?
Yes.
And were you present with the group?
Yes.
Were there any other instructors or coaches there?
Yeah, there was just one other.
Who was that?
Jamie Sutton.
Do you remember approximately how many from your dance group were present?
I had about 12. Jamie might have had around 10. Minis was around 4, maybe. Tinies 4, and Itty Bitties, I'm not sure, because they were just in like strollers and stuff with their parents.
When you marched in the parade, were you in a specific formation?
Yes, we were.
And how were the different age groups organized in that formation?
So at the front, it would start oldest, and then it would go to youngest. So it would be elite, juniors, minis, tiny, and then the itty bitties with their parents.
Okay. Was there a vehicle or a float associated with your group in the parade?
Yeah, there was a truck.
What kind of truck?
It was
Pickup truck?
Yes. Yeah.
What's the objection? Per answer my stand, I'll instruct the state to avoid leading questions.
Oh, did you score one?
About how many times did you make it through your routine during that parade?
Overruled.
I don't recall.
Was there a certain point when your dancers stopped dancing?
Irrelevant.
Overruled. You may answer.
Yeah, they did stop dancing.
Why?
Because there was a car that drove through.
There's cleaners right there. There's some water. There's also water. You might open one of those.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Kajewski, we're going to put up on the screen for you Exhibit 15. And with the court's permission, this has been received already. I'd ask to publish to the jury as well.
Permission granted.
Do you see the screen in front of you?
Yes.
Do you see a green box with names in it with the label Waukesha Extreme Dance underneath?
Yes.
Do you recognize the names in that green box?
Yes.
You see a black line connecting that green box to a yellow star?
Yes.
Can we scroll down a little bit? Do you recognize the neighborhood in this map?
Kinda, it's downtown.
Downtown Waukesha?
Yeah.
The yellow star that's connected to the Waukesha Extreme Dance names, is that an approximate area where you described the car hitting the girls?
Yeah, right before the 5 points.
Okay. We can take that down. Thank you. I'm now going to ask that we project onto the screen for the witness only exhibit number 33. Let me know when you see the screen in front of you.
This poor girl.
I see it.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to just take as much time as you need, read all those names, and then describe for me what we're looking at.
It's the formation that the girls were in.
On the day of the parade?
Yes.
And does that accurately represent where each of those girls were in formation?
Yes.
And you've reviewed a diagram similar to this before your testimony, right?
Yes.
I would move Exhibit 33 into evidence and ask for permission to publish.
Before I allow that, if you could ask her about the non-labeled boxes.
Sure. You can see that there are some boxes on this diagram that don't have names in them, is that right?
Correct.
What do those boxes represent?
Who wasn't injured?
So, but those are people? Those are
yes.
members of the dance group?
Yes.
But to your knowledge, a box without a name is a person who wasn't hit?
Yes.
Okay. I'll renew my request at this point.
Objection. How is it legal to instruct the prosecution to ask a question that they should already know to ask?
Your objection is noted. It's overruled. Exhibit 33 is received and permission to publish is granted.
Oh, look at him. He thinks they're cooking something
Okay,
up.
can you, Ms. Kajewski, can you explain for us what the colors mean in this exhibit?
So they're each different team. So the yellow is the elite team, the green is the junior team, and the blue is the mini team. And there is 2 teams behind that, but they didn't have a formation. And that's why only these 3 are on here.
Okay. You testified earlier that you were marching in order of age, so the elites were in the front of the group, right?
Yes.
So the parade route, if we were moving forward, it would be the bottom of this page, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Can we project for the witness only, exhibit number 32, please?
Go ahead.
Let me know when you see something on your screen.
I see it.
Okay, we're going to play just a few seconds of this to see if you recognize it. Okay, we'll pause there. We played 19 seconds. Do you recognize this video?
Not this video.
Okay. Do you recognize the truck
Yes.
at this point that we've stopped at?
Yep.
At 19 seconds?
Yeah.
What's the truck?
That's the truck that we had for Extreme.
During the Christmas parade?
Yes.
Did you recognize the people in front of the truck holding the banner?
Objection. The witness stated she doesn't recognize the video. How is it permitted?
Your objection's noted. It's overruled. She may answer the question.
Could you say the question again?
Did you recognize the 2 people holding the banner in front of the truck?
Yes.
Were they affiliated with your group?
Yes.
Let's play a few more seconds just for the witness. Pause there. Pause at 27 seconds. Did you recognize the people coming into the screen from the left?
Yes.
Who are they?
Our dancers.
Does this video appear to be an accurate depiction of your group along the parade route during the Waukesha Christmas Parade?
Yeah.
You may answer.
Yes.
I move to admit exhibit number 32 and ask for permission to publish.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Did you sustain that objection?
I didn't rule on it. Which objection?
That I just objected to?
It was overruled.
Are you making that decision now?
There's been a request by the state to receive exhibit 32, Mr. Brooks.
I objected.
All right, then your objection's noted. It's overruled.
On what grounds, Your Honor?
Exhibit 32 is received. The foundation has been laid, and permission to publish is granted.
On what grounds, Your Honor?
The record speaks for itself.
On what grounds, Your Honor?
You may play it.
There's no audio with this video. We're going to play from the beginning.
How long is the video for the record?
It's 1 minute and 23 seconds.
Thank you.
Pause, please. We've paused at the 35-second mark. Ms. Kaczewski, do you remember what you were wearing on your head, if anything at all, that day?
Yeah, I had a bright red hat on.
Do you see yourself in this, at the 35-second mark of this video?
Yes.
That's a touch screen in front of you. Can you use your finger and circle yourself? Okay. And we can clear that, please, Madam Clerk. And we'll resume at the 35-second mark. We can take that down now. Thank you. So, Ms. Kaczewski, let me just clarify. What did we see at the end of that video? You can take some time.
A car going through the parade.
Is that the same vehicle that you remember seeing that day?
Yes.
Do you recall where you were standing at the point that the vehicle started to go through your girls in relation to the rest of the group?
Yeah, in relation to the rest of the group. I was on the side that was with all the names, but I don't remember what stores I was by.
If you were standing in the middle of your group, were you on the left side or the right side?
Which way are you looking?
If you're walking down the parade route.
I'm looking towards the truck.
Yep.
I would be on the left side.
And you were towards the front?
Yes.
By the elite girls?
Yes.
Okay. I'm now going to ask that we put up for the witness only exhibit number 34. And before we get into questions about this exhibit, I'll go back and ask you about the video we just looked at, exhibit 32. After having watched that video just now in court, does it appear as though that diagram with the names that we looked at, exhibit 33, does it appear as though that diagram was an accurate depiction of where the named girls were positioned at the time the SUV came into the group?
Yes.
I'm sorry, what's the objection?
Hearsay.
Overruled.
Okay. So
The
now,
answer.
I believe the answer. Okay. So now we'll put up Exhibit 34 for the witness, please. We're just going to play a few seconds to see if you recognize this. Let's do a few more seconds. Okay. Do you recognize this video?
Not the video, but
Do you recognize images from the video?
it's
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled. You may continue answering. I turned it off for the witness.
Oh.
So they can finish.
okay.
Okay. I think we've got the rotation figured out
Okay.
here. We're going to play 5 or 10 seconds again for you just to see if you recognize the video. Okay. Now, do you recognize the video?
Yeah.
What does it show?
The car going through and someone
Is
flying.
that an accurate depiction of the scene as you saw it that day?
Mm-hmm.
You're saying she already stated she didn't recognize the video.
This characterizes her testimony. Your objection's overruled. It is not hearsay. You may answer. And if you did answer, if you could just repeat it.
Could you?
Is that video an accurate depiction of the scene as you saw it unfold that day?
Yes.
Your answer may stand. Thank you.
What was the answer?
Yes.
Move Exhibit 34 into evidence and request permission to publish.
Exhibit 34 is received. Permission to publish is granted.
We're going to play from the beginning. This is a 50-second clip. We're not going to play the whole thing. We're going to play from the beginning to about 12 seconds. We're going to turn the audio on. We've paused at 12 seconds. I'm going to ask that we go back to the beginning. Slow it down to 30% speed. And we've turned the audio off. We're going to watch that save 12 seconds again. Pause. And I'm going to ask Ms. Gussie to go frame by frame. We paused at 1 second, by the way. Next frame. Next frame. One more. There. We're at a frame at 2 seconds. There's a figure on the bottom, on the left side of the screen, appears to be wearing black with long hair. You recognize that person?
Yes.
Can you see any features
Mr.
in
Brooks,
it?
that's argumentative. Your objection's noted. It's overruled. You may answer.
Hearsay. Objection
Not
for hearsay.
hearsay.
Oh my
You may
gosh.
answer.
Clear hearsay.
Clear. Okay, Mr. Know-it-all.
Yes.
Who is that person we're looking at?
Jesselyn.
Can you use the touchscreen in front of you and circle that picture? Circle Jesselyn, please. I'd ask to save the annotation as Exhibit 34A and to move it into evidence.
The annotation has been saved. Exhibit 34A is received.
He's perturbed.
When you say Jesselyn, are you referring to Jesselyn Torres?
Yes.
She was a member of your dance group?
Yes, she was on the junior team.
take that down, I'm going to ask that we play Exhibit 35 just for the witness. And this is just 8 seconds long, so we'll play the whole thing to see if you recognize it, okay?
Okay.
Do you recognize that video?
Yes.
What does it show?
The car going through.
Through your dance group?
Yes.
Is that an accurate video depicting the events that day?
Yes.
Move Exhibit 35 into evidence and request permission to publish.
Exhibit 35 is received permission to publish. Granted, your objection is noted for the record.
Again, this is 8 seconds long. We're going to turn the audio on for this video.
Is the video, who even took the video? Is it relevant?
Sir, it's not an objection, it's a statement. We can ask questions later.
We missed that too.
Go ahead.
So, Judge, before we begin, I have to step in here and request that Mr. Brooks be instructed to stop making comments under his breath. This witness is very clearly having an emotional and difficult time testifying, and she doesn't need to hear that.
Thank you, Zach.
She can't hear anything I'm saying.
Mr. Brooks, the mics are very good in this courtroom, so please refrain.
Don't disagree.
All right, keep going.
Ass.
So we will begin at the beginning of this video. We'll play the whole thing with audio.
Gosh. And of course he's going to cross-examine her, poor thing. Oh gosh, just to hear it is horrifying.
I just want to say one thing. To the extent that there are comments on this video, those comments are not being offered. I would instruct the jury to disregard those in terms of the evidence. It's the video that's important.
For the courtroom, actually. Exhibit 33, the diagram again. And we'd ask to publish for the jury.
Go ahead.
Can we zoom in on the top of the screen here? So, Ms. Kajewski, I'd like to work our way through this name by name based on your recollection of what you saw during the parade that day, okay? So let's start with the first person on the top right, Vivian Duh-rell. You knew Vivian Duh-rell before November 21st, right?
Yes.
And do you recall seeing her either while the SUV was driving through or after?
It's not hearsay. Overruled.
I saw her after, not during, because I was in the front.
Can you describe the circumstances when you saw her after?
Hearsay.
Mr. Brooks, I'm going to direct your attention to review section 908.01. You have a statute book. Please do that. It's not hearsay.
Excuse me, guys. Okay, let's see what happens. I do remember watching this young lady testify, but I really do not remember the cross-examination, but I imagine it's going to be brutal with Brooks. I mean, not brutally intelligent, but just brutal, because he's very unkind to people.
Could you repeat the question?
Can you describe the circumstances of how you saw her and where afterwards?
Yeah, she was on the opposite side of the road, just like in a fetal position.
Did you have any interaction with her?
Yeah, I did. I went in a squad car with her to the hospital.
Which hospital?
I think it's called Waukesha Memorial.
Here in Waukesha?
Yeah.
Okay. And did you observe any injuries to her?
Yeah, she had road rash on her Chin.
Next, I want to ask you about Mackenzie Hollingsworth. First, top right green square there. Did you see her as the SUV was coming through?
I didn't see her as the SUV. I saw her at the hospital.
Waukesha Memorial?
Mm-hmm.
Can you describe what she looked like?
Sorry, was that a yes? You just said, oh, was that a yes?
Yes.
Thank you. That's okay.
Can you describe how she looked at the hospital?
Yeah, she was laying on the ground, and her mom was on her left side of her, and I was on her right, and I was holding her hand, trying to get her to squeeze my hand so she could, like, stay awake. But she was going in and out of consciousness. She was asleep, and then she would wake up sobbing, and it would just repeat.
I next want to ask you about Alice Duh-rell, so the next green square down on that diagram. Did you see her as the SUV drove through?
I didn't see, like, her get hit because it was just a blur, but I saw her body on the ground right after, and she's the one that, the first person I saw.
And did you have any interaction with her after the fact?
Yeah, I picked her up as soon as her body was right in front of me. I just picked her up because I didn't know what was about to happen.
What did you think had happened at that point?
I didn't know. I didn't know if there was going to be just a bunch of cars. So I just wanted to get her out of the way.
You've already testified about Jesselyn Torres. The Jesselyn Torres who's named in a green square there, is that the same Jesselyn Torres that you referenced when we watched Exhibit 34?
Yes.
Moving down the diagram, I'll ask you about Yuretsi Becerra Montes. You recognize that name?
Yes.
Did you see Yuretsi as the SUV came through the group?
I saw her after.
Where did you see her?
Behind the truck on the ground.
Which truck?
The same truck that was driving in front of all the girls.
That black pickup truck?
Yeah.
How close to the truck was she?
At the tailgate.
Was anybody else with her?
Yeah, I remember seeing her dad and her sister.
How did she appear to you in that moment? Health-wise?
Just in shock.
Moving down the list to Julia Schlickow, excuse me. Did you see Julia as the SUV was driving through the group?
I didn't see her as the SUV came through. I saw her at the hospital.
At Waukesha Memorial?
Yes.
How did she appear to you when you saw her at Waukesha Memorial?
She wasn't good.
Can you take a little bit of time and then tell us in a little bit more detail?
I was with Kenzie at the time, and at Waukesha Memorial there's a glass, like, wall window, and I saw Julia in a wheelchair by herself with, like, nurses around her, and she was kind of slunched over. She was in and out of consciousness as well, and so I ran over to her and told them her name, and they rushed her in the back because she was not doing well. And then when we got to the back, she started seizing and vomiting.
And you saw this while you were with Kenzie, as you said?
I saw Julia when I was with Kenzie, and then I left and went with Julia, and then we went in the back to a room, and that's when she started seizing and puking.
Just so we can keep the name straight, who's Kenzie?
Mackenzie Hollingsworth.
And moving further down the diagram towards the front,
This is tough.
Sam Coelho. Do you recognize that name?
Yes.
Did you see Sam as the SUV went through the group?
I didn't see her with the SUV.
What about afterwards?
I didn't see her at the hospital either that night.
Do you remember providing a written statement with Detective Mandy Schwartz from the Waukesha Sheriff's Department shortly after this incident?
Yes.
I would ask that we project that statement for the witness only.
Go ahead.
Go down to page 4, please.
This will be the mark for identification. What would be your next number?
149, please.
All right, will be marked incident 149.
Ms. Kuchewski, do you see the screen in front of you?
Yes.
Let's scroll down a little further. All right, just to yourself silently, I'd like you to read from where it says, saw another, to the words, so fast. Just read that silently. Let me know when you're done.
I'm done.
Okay. Do you remember writing that or approving that written statement when you met with Detective Schwartz?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember now?
Hold on, we'll take that down.
Yeah, we can take that down, please. Sorry. Do you remember now talking about what happened to Sam?
I didn't see Sam. I only saw her dad.
Okay. And you didn't see her in the hospital afterwards?
Not that night, no.
Did you see her in the days following this incident?
Overruled. Answer.
Yeah, as soon as the day she was able to have a visitor, I was there.
When you say visitor, what do you mean? Where was she?
Overruled.
She was at Children's.
Children's Hospital?
Yeah.
Do you know why she was there?
They moved her there just due to her injuries.
And you know she was injured as a result of what?
Overruled. She may answer as to what her knowledge of the injuries were.
Yeah, she was there because she was struck.
Put Exhibit 33 back up for the jury and the witness, please.
I'm sorry, 30?
33, please, 33, the diagram.
Go ahead.
So, Ms. Kuchewski, there's 2 remaining names there on the diagram, Isabella Bartels and Maddie Hollingsworth. Did you see either of them as the SUV went through the group?
I did not.
Did you see either of them in the immediate aftermath?
I did not.
Based on their position in that diagram and your review of the video evidence here in court, how would you describe their position in relation to the red SUV that went through the group?
If you're looking at the SUV, they were just to the left of it.
Okay. Do you know whether they were actually struck by the SUV?
I do not.
But based on their positioning, they would have been how close to the SUV in your best estimate?
Just a couple feet.
You're not able to give an accurate estimate about how fast the SUV was traveling at that point, is that right?
I could.
Okay. Well, please, if you think you can, please tell us how fast do you think it was traveling?
Overruled.
I thought around 55.
The black truck that was part of your group, right? That was about the approximate speed of the rest of the parade?
Yeah.
And was the red SUV traveling faster than the black truck?
Yes.
That's all I have for direct examination, Your Honor.
All right, then we'll break for lunch. We'll continue with cross-examination after the lunch hour. Please rise for the jury.
All right, I think they're finally back from recess. He already looks smug.
Okay, we'll go back on the record then. In State versus Brooks, appearances are as they were this morning. Do we have Ms. Gajewski?
Questions.
All right, bring her in and we'll bring the jury in as soon as she's up here for her
I can't wait to say something.
State that I do consent to that name, nor do I know any individual by that name.
Nobody cares.
Consent is noted for the record. All right, Ms. Gajewski, if you would please make your way back to the witness stand. And as soon as you are there, I will have the jury brought out. All right, go ahead.
On the record, before the jury comes out, I would like to direct Your Honor to a case, United States versus Cotton.
Mr. Brooks,
no,
if you have a motion, you need to put it in writing, and then I will address it.
Don't do that when the jury's
getting ready. Motions right now. So if you're asking me to reconsider something, you need to follow the proper procedure.
What is the proper procedure, Your Honor?
I've told you repeatedly what a motion is. So if it's a reconsideration, 806.07 is the statute I would direct your attention to.
It's not a reconsideration. It's just bringing up the subject matter jurisdiction again.
Oh, for God's sake.
Sir, I've already dealt with this repeatedly. So any further times you want me to address it, you need to put it in writing for the court to consider a proper motion with the relief that you're requesting, the legal basis, and the facts upon which you are relying.
I have that here, Your Honor.
Not just simply a case. I want a motion.
I've put in several motions that have yet to be answered.
I've already addressed them. The jury's on its way out. I'm not going to delay the start of this cross-examination for this argument yet again. I've already addressed it. The fact that it's the afternoon doesn't mean I need to address it again. Jury's coming out.
It's going to continue to be brought up. It's going to continue to be brought up, Your Honor. It hasn't been proven that you have jurisdiction, that this court has jurisdiction. I think it's relevant.
But you are a proven idiot.
Subject matter jurisdiction can't be forfeited or waived. You know that. By not answering, Your Honor.
Please, the jury's coming out.
By not answering, Your Honor, you're agreeing to a tacit agreement.
Please put him in. Tacit agreement.
Tack it. You don't have to answer.
Tack it.
I'll take that as a yes.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated.
Gosh, I want to smack him.
All right, Mr. Brooks, you may question the witness if you have any questions for her.
I don't consent to being called that name, as I stated before. I will note that, like that noted for the record.
You can question the witness then.
Is that noted for the record, Your Honor?
Ask your questions, please.
Is it noted for the record,
He's being
Your Honor?
such an ass. Time for him to go the other room. Come on, get your papers together.
As you testified to earlier, you were present at the Christmas parade on November 21st of 2021. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
Do you remember about how long you intended to be at the parade?
Just until we finished the route.
It was a few exhibits that you stated on record that you weren't familiar with seeing. Would that be fair to say?
Once clarified, I did say that I remembered seeing them.
So you saw those videos before today?
Yes.
About how many times do you recall seeing them before today?
Just once.
Do you recall who showed them to you?
Yes.
You stated for the record and for the jury?
Can you repeat that?
Can you state who showed you the videos for the record and for the jury?
Yeah, the state.
And who would you be referring to when you say the state?
Oh, God. Here we go.
The three seated next to you.
Are you referring to the opposite table next to me?
Yes.
Let the record reflect that.
Look, they want to
She
laugh.
identified the three prosecutors sitting at the prosecution table.
You have to point him out.
The record will so reflect.
See
Do you
now?
recall knowing if you would possibly be called to testify?
Yes.
Were you expecting to testify?
Yes, I got a letter in the mail.
Do you recall if that letter was a subpoena?
Yes, it was a subpoena.
She looks pissed. Good for you, girl. You can do it.
You frequently referred to the vehicle as the car.
Oh, here we go.
Do you recall those statements?
Yes.
So, for clarification, what type of vehicle did you see that day? Was it a car?
It was a Ford SUV.
And how were you able to determine the make and model of the vehicle?
Objection. Who does not describe the model?
Rounds.
Overruled. She may answer the question.
So, when I first saw it, I made a point to figure out what car it was, not the license plate. And I knew it was either that an Escape or a Mercury. And then as the vehicle got closer to me, I saw the Ford emblem. That's how I knew it was a Ford.
And during those determinations of the make and model of the vehicle, did you catch a description of the driver?
No, I did not.
Any reason why you would be more focused on the make and model of the vehicle instead of who was driving the vehicle?
I can't tell you why. I just made sure I knew what the vehicle was.
And you didn't try to see if you can spot a license plate at any time?
It all happened way too fast.
So would it be fair to say that it happened fast enough for you to not be able to make out the model and make of the vehicle?
No, I knew exactly what it was.
But not exactly who was driving the vehicle?
No, I did not look who was driving it, just the make.
You stated that you observed some girls from your dance team in the hospital. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
And you stated that a few of them were laying on the ground?
Yes.
Any idea why they would be laying on the ground in the hospital?
Because there was so many people, there wasn't enough room. So people were standing, sitting, and laying on the ground because the rooms were overflowed.
Were they being attended to at that time?
Nope, because there was too many people.
Did you recall feeling like maybe they should have been attended to, seeing as how they may have been seriously injured?
The nurses were attending to who needed it immediately. The nurses were doing.
I object to his stupidity. Why does he keep worrying about them seeing him? He almost as if he wants them to identify him. He didn't have time to see the driver. Why are they lying on the floor? Gosh. Oh my gosh, we don't have time for this.
The best they could.
So it would be fair to say that the girls that you observed on the ground weren't of immediate concern to the nurses at that time.
Now the nurses are on
At
trial.
that time, they weren't.
Were you injured in any way during this incident?
I was not.
And you testified earlier to the approximate speed of the vehicle. Do you recall what your answer was?
Yeah, about 55 miles per hour.
And how were you able to come to that determination?
Because I've drove for a couple years now, and that's just the number that came to my head. Because when I drive, I know what 55 feels like, and I know what 25 feels like, and that was just my best guess.
So it would be fair to say that you were making an assumption. You didn't know for sure.
Nope. Yeah, that was just my best guess.
You made a reference to a young woman by the name of Sam. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
And what relation do you have to Sam? Is she just part of the dance group or close friend or?
Yeah, she's part of the dance group, but I became super close with her ever since I started working there.
Do you recall seeing her struck by the vehicle?
No.
Do you remember where she was at the time that you saw the vehicle pass you?
Yes, she was on the front left side if you're looking towards the truck that was in our group. She was on the left side in front, first girl.
Would it be fair to say that from that angle that you would be able to see her if she was struck?
I was turned the other way. She was behind my back.
So you don't know for sure where she was at when the vehicle passed you?
I do. She was in her formation that I had put her in.
Yeah.
Do you know if anyone was standing there or in that position with her at that time?
She has her own spot, and there was girls behind her and next to her, but she would have been the only dancer in her spot.
So it would have been people in her general area, but not directly next to her.
Yeah, they have space in between all of them.
Do you remember what you did immediately after the vehicle passed you?
Yep, I ran to Alice and I picked her up immediately.
In regards to your dance team, did you observe anyone struck?
I just remember seeing bodies in the air, but I can't say I remember seeing a vehicle hit them. I remember seeing bodies in the air and on the ground.
So at that point, it would be fair to say that you didn't know if the people that were on the ground or in the air or whatnot were in fact struck by a vehicle.
Oh, come on.
Well, I did know it was the vehicle because I turned around and I saw the vehicle coming towards them. And then I think I blacked out until they actually were in the air and on the ground.
By blacked out, what do you mean by that? State that, what that means for the jury and for the record.
Jerry.
So I
Just for
can't
you.
see anything, but I can hear it. So when I say blackout, I mean I can't visualize it, but I can hear it happening.
Was that the first time that you ever had a blackout?
Yeah,
So it's never happened before that day?
never.
Any idea what caused it on that occasion?
Oh, for gosh sake. You.
No. Stress. Shock.
Oh my God. He's just
And
like.
you stated that you got into a ambulance and with someone who was struck and then left the parade at that point?
A squad car, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, a squad. You left at that point.
Yeah.
Do you recall about what time that was?
No.
Do you recall how long you were with the person being transported at that time?
No, I wasn't worried about time.
Do you recall if anyone was walking directly next to you at the time of the incident?
I was walking next to the girls on my team that got struck.
Do you recall walking next to Sam or Sam walking next to you?
No, she was behind me.
In their formation.
Do you recall making the statement that, and this is, I'm guessing, in a summary report given to Detective Schwartz? Do you recall being interviewed by Detective Schwartz?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Do you recall making the statement that Samantha was walking next to you?
No, I don't recall that.
Do you recall making a statement that you did not have enough time to tell Sam to move?
Yes.
And this was the same Sam that you just testified that you did not see struck, correct?
Yeah. Yes, I didn't see her hit.
Do you recall if the vehicle had any damage at that point?
I was only paying attention to what kind of make it was because I could see the body of it was an SUV, and like I said, I thought it was either the make with the Mercury or a Ford, and so I was just paying attention to the emblem when the grill got closer and I saw it was a Ford. I wasn't looking for any damage.
About how close would you estimate the vehicle came to you?
I don't know.
Did it get close to you?
I don't know. I blacked out.
Do you remember what side of the road you were on when you blacked out?
Yeah, I was on...
Sorry, guys, for the camera bubble.
If you are looking at the truck, I was on the left side. So if you're walking in the parade, I was on the left side. But I had turned around, and so I was on the right side because I was looking at the vehicle.
So at what point did your memory go fuzzy?
So I turned around and I saw a car or an SUV, and I told myself, "You're crazy. You don't see that." And then all of a sudden, I don't remember anything. I can hear it, and then after, I remember seeing the bodies. So I would say I blacked out from when I saw the vehicle to after it passed.
Any idea how long that may have been, roughly, if you recall?
A second.
So, pretty much like the snap of a finger.
Yeah, because it went by so fast.
And from your recollection, that was quick enough for you to miss anybody being struck.
I blacked out, so I didn't see them physically get hit.
Good gosh. Here he goes, shifting his folders and papers.
Outside of Detective Schwartz, did you, were you interviewed by any other law enforcement?
No, I only gave that statement, and that was it.
What about at the hospital? Were you interviewed at the hospital?
No, I was not.
Did you call yourself to make a report about what you saw that evening?
No, I went and gave the statement right after I left the hospital, and that was it.
Did you do any follow-up to see if your report was received by anyone in law enforcement?
No.
Did anybody from law enforcement contact you about the statement that you gave?
No.
Do you recall at any time reading or seeing a complaint in this matter?
No.
Do you recall at any time filing any claim in this matter?
No.
Gosh, same stuff.
Are you saying with the police department?
Yes, with the police.
Yeah, no. I just gave a statement, and that was it.
Would you consider yourself a party to this matter?
Objection.
Grounds.
Sustained. On roll this man.
Do you recall if you were contacted by the plaintiff in this matter?
Objection.
Grounds.
Gosh, sake.
Grounds.
Here we go again.
Overruled. She may answer.
Oh, okay.
Can you say who the plaintiff is?
I'm asking you, are you aware of the plaintiff? Were you contacted by the
He
plaintiff
opened the door.
at any time?
I don't know what the plaintiff is.
The plaintiff would be whoever is bringing the claim for the charges in the matter.
So not, then yeah.
Yeah, what? You
Oh,
were
come
contacted
on.
by the plaintiff? Objection. She answered yes. I'll answer grounds.
Objection. Hold on.
Jeez.
Objection. Move
Darrell
to
getting
strike
so
out
excited.
legal analysis,
Grounds.
and the defendant has testified.
I'll sustain the objection. I'll grant the request to strike the question and the answer for the reasons given by the state. You may rephrase if you'd like.
Who were you contacted about testifying?
The state.
And that, I'm assuming the state of Wisconsin, correct?
That's the state. Right there.
Right there, as in referring to the prosecution table.
Correct.
Let the record show that she identified the state as the three attorneys at the prosecution table.
Objection.
Rockerville, silver flag.
And do you recall having a conversation with the state?
Yes.
Would it be fair to say that you would identify the state as the plaintiff in this matter?
Objection.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Have you ever had any interactions with the plaintiff in this matter?
Objection.
Grounds.
Relevance.
Stop.
Sustained.
Do you see the plaintiff in the courtroom today?
Same objection.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Do you even know if there's a plaintiff?
Oh, Lord.
Same objection.
Grounds.
Sustained.
So as far as you know,
Beating the dead horse.
in your opinion, who would you say is the plaintiff in this matter?
Objection.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Were you present at the parade with any family that day?
No.
Just 1 second.
Oh, gosh. 1 second. It's not going to be a second.
And when you visited the hospital, how did you learn of the injuries to any of your dance team partners?
I see where he's going with this.
Which hospital are you referring to?
Excuse me.
I only heard you say Memorial. You might have said two. I think you said Children's one time too. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, that's correct.
I guess I would be referring to Memorial.
So the only injury, well, not even injury, I only knew Julia had something wrong with her brain at the time because they saw spinal fluid coming out of her nose.
And were you told that directly from a doctor?
I heard them freaking out and rushing her to a CT scan because I was right next to her, helping them as she seized and vomited.
So you overheard from the nurses what the diagnosis was?
Yes.
What about for Sam?
Are you referring to the night of?
Yes. When I'm guessing you saw her at some point that night.
I did not see her that night.
Did you see her at any point?
I did. I was there at the hospital the first day she was able to have a visitor.
And were you told directly by medical professionals at that time that you were able to see her of any possible injuries?
I wasn't told by them. She actually called me.
Can I strike that answer for hearsay, right?
No, you asked the question.
Yeah.
But the answer was hearsay.
You asked the question.
She told him. She told him. Idiot. They're so over him.
In the days after the incident, did you have quite a few interactions with the dance team?
Yeah, we tried to keep ourselves busy and we did a lot of things together.
Did you attend any visuals or any memorials or anything like that?
Yes, I did.
Would you stay for the record and for the jury? How many?
I believe it was on Monday. I went to that vigil.
What does that have to do with
That would be
anything?
the only one that you attended?
Yeah, that was the only one they had.
The jury needed to know that, that's for sure. Good gosh.
Were you aware of things set up financially for the victims?
Can you repeat that?
Were you aware of any for example, like GoFundMe's or donations or anything for the victims? Were you aware of anything like that going on in the days after the incident? Grounds. Grounds.
Sustained.
Did you yourself donate to any causes associated with the incident?
I did not.
Are you still currently a member of the dance team?
Can you tell me which one you're referring to?
What is it, string dance team?
Yeah, I am not. I do not work there anymore.
And was that decision made by the incident, or was it just a personal decision? Objection. Grounds.
Sustained.
You testified earlier to having the blackout and that being the first time that happened. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
Have you had any blackouts anytime since that day?
No.
Yeah, because she probably didn't see her dance team the after effects of being run over by you in your mama's red SUV.
First and only time would be that day.
Correct.
No further questions.
Yes, thank you. Ms. Kajewski, with respect to that blackout, you testified that you don't have a visual memory of the SUV actually striking any girls that day. Is that right?
Correct.
You testified, however, that you remember what it sounded like. Describe that.
Yes, sorry. Yes, so it sounded like those big orange construction cones just being hit. That's what I remember it as.
You do have a visual memory of the immediate aftermath of the strike?
I do.
Okay. And what is that memory?
Here's that.
You may answer. It's overruled.
He still needs to read his thing.
Pure chaos. Shoes everywhere, palms everywhere, bodies, people screaming, running around. Just chaos.
When asked on cross-examination what caused your blackout, you said stress and shock. You remember giving that testimony?
Yes.
At any time in your life before November 21st of 2021, had you ever witnessed an SUV drive through a group of young women?
Objection. Hearsay.
Hearsay.
Relevancy.
Overruled. You may answer.
No.
What about any time since November 21st, 2021?
Objection. Relevancy.
Overruled.
No.
That's all we have. Thank you.
Thank you. You may step down.
Look at him, he thinks he did good again. Did well.
Thank you.
Okay, so we just keep relevancy, hearsay. What if he just started yelling out? He may as well. Ketchup, mustard, mayo. Oh, gosh. This is why we must continue to roast him.